rotation, race number 15 of the Sim 500 Monday Night Money Series. I'm your host, Michael Keaton. Alongside me, guest speaker in the house tonight, Mr. Joe Hudson himself, and producing the show and hitting every key on that keyboard as always, Pedro Mega. Joe, welcome to the broadcast booth, but most importantly, welcome to Chicagoland Speedway.
Oh, thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure to be here. Much rather be on track with the guys, but unfortunately a couple of incidents last week it's got me parked, so I'm going to enjoy taking a different look at things, and glad to help you out.
Absolutely, and to touch on that, Joe, one of the notes here I've got from some of the guys, one spot out of the chase grid right now, sitting because he's a wrecker. What's that? What are they talking about, Joe?
I'm not real sure. I think they made that up.
Oh, boy.
Phoenix was tough last week. These cars, while they don't have a lot of power, they're still real tricky with the setup. And getting off the corners at Phoenix last week was real difficult, and the car would come around on you with really no warning. And hey, I screwed up twice, and I'm paying the price for it. But honestly, probably going to see a lot of the same thing tonight. I went out and test drove the Sim 500 ride-along car before we got them on air, and it's real loose coming off of 2, so I look for that to be an exciting and maybe a trouble spot for the competitors tonight.
And just so we don't leave Joe out on the bus there, another driver suspended for tonight is Scott Stencil. Now, he has, 100 incidents. Now, most of those came in the late season. He's got 7 top 10s and 9 races. He's in the chase with a win, but he's got 100 incident points. Okay, next guy, Joshua Williams, driver of the number 22 machine. Can you believe that? Last week, Malik Ray, Joshua Williams having a lot of love and fun with each other, and it got nasty, Joe. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but Joshua Williams, third driver tonight, not with us in the Sim 500 190 at Chicagoland Speedway.
Yeah, they were well behind me. I was back there with Rosa Parks at the back of the bus, so I missed out on all that action. But I heard about it, and you know, sim racing gets pretty intense at times. You know, a lot of people call it a game and think we're all just playing a video game out here, but it's pretty competitive, and these guys take it serious, and the blood and the tempers start boiling. And you know, week after week, we race every week out here, and you have problems sometimes with one particular driver, and finally you say enough's enough. And I think Josh had reached his boiling point.
He sure did. And with that said, of course, as you mentioned, competition. I mean, there's a chase grid already kind of set. The Challenger 14, you've got Malik Ray, Joshua Williams, Brandon Traburco, Kyle Taraska, J.D. Laird, Larry Pace, Gonzalez, Coleman, Cooper, Chad Cole, E.J.O. Warwick, Joey Jatina, Manger, and Scott Stencil. Currently, that's your current grid. The last 7 is currently, so anything can happen. We've got just a couple more races to go before the chase starts. In fact, we got tonight's race and the Meatball Company 151 next week at Dover, and then it's round 1, baby, August 28th. The KC Designs Throwback Night 117 at Darlington Raceway. Bring your throwback skins. It's going to be an exciting night. Folks, you're watching the Monday Night Money Series. We're going to step away and bring to you the national anthem. When we return, we'll have some qualifying lap times for you. Who's the fastest tonight, and who's going to win this race? We'll be back. folks, with the beautiful rendition of the national anthem. And qualifying is still underway, Joe. Larry Pace currently the fastest on the racetrack with a 30-point lone 7-4-1. No one else close, but look at those second and third fastest guys. Look at that, Joe.
Yeah, J.D. Laird, Justin Fuller ran the exact same lap time, a 30.834. Then we've got Seth the Merchant, and probably the hottest driver in all of Sim 500 racing right now, Malik Ray, is sitting fifth. Malik with 5 victories this year. It's got to be trouble for the rest of the field when he's qualifying that close to the front, because he sure has it figured out on how to keep a car good on the long run.
Absolutely. Malik Ray, as you mentioned, win-win these past 2 races. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Auto Club Speedway 91-lap event, he'll win there. And, of course, last week, as you mentioned, the open dog leg of Phoenix, he'll take on that checkered flag as well. Now, tonight, Chicagoland Speedway. Next week, we mentioned Dover. And then it's the Darlington Raceway Round 1. Round 2 will be the chase start of the top 10 drivers, and that'll be at the WCI Parts 88 at my home track, Talladega. Then Round 3 will be the top 6 drivers at Icy, Michigan. And then, of course, the championship round, top 4 drivers to be announced, will be September 25th at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for 150 laps. Vegas, bring your money. Going to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, Sim 500 that have started up not that many months ago has already continues to grow, but they already have attracted such a large field of talented and drivers that they all race so close. I mean, they're all just so good. Any one of probably 15 or 20 drivers can win any given night.
Absolutely. Qualifying, Joe, has just completed 8 drivers turning a 30 lap time, 9 through 15 in the 31s. We talked earlier about some speed. 30.741 is going to be your lickety-split fastest lap in qualifying. Larry Pace, the 00. I like to call him the Buckshot Jones. You remember old 00 Buckshot Jones, Joe?
Heck yeah.
I always refer to Larry, I guess because of the number. I mean, you know what I mean? When you see the 00 on the car, you got to refer to him as that. I hope he runs the Buckshot Jones throwback skin.
I believe I have seen something along that coming down the pikes, and he'll be all right as long as we keep Randy LaJoy out of it, because I think Randy and Buckshot had a nice rivalry back in the day.
And, of course, Larry Pace winning the pole at Rockingham earlier this year. So, folks, here it is, your top 10 in your lineup. Larry Pace and that 00 machine, Fast Pace, will start in that number 1 position. Outside him on roll number 1, the 97. The 97 of J.D. Laird, running some different numbers tonight.
Yeah, I guess maybe he's getting a little early, being a fellow Alabamian there. The 97, he must be filling a little up for the old Red Farmer tonight.
The old Red Farmer, indeed. And starting row number 2, Justin Fuller and Seth the Merchant in that number 57 machine outside him. Last week's winner and the week before that, and as you mentioned, 5-time winner Malik Ray will roll off in the number 5th spot. Outside him, a man looking to find his first victory in the Sim 500, E.J. O'Rourke, starts 6th.
Yeah, well, keep an eye on that 41, because win, lose, or draw, there's always plenty of excitement around the O'Rourke.
Rolling off 7th, Kyle Tarasca and the Jose Gonzalez man out of Puerto Rico rolls off 8th, and that'll be your last driver to turn a 30.929. 9th spot, Mr. Gottschalk. And outside Mr. Gottschalk in the 10th spot will be Brian Boris Cook. Now, Steve Gottschalk, we have just a few seconds here to talk about him, Joe. One of the cleanest drivers in the Sim 500 series.
Yeah, always a pleasure to race with him in any of the leagues that we run in. Been running some really close races with him in the truck series. is a great driver. And, you know, well, one thing before we go green, I'd like to point out there were a lot of drivers who didn't complete a qualifying lap. They had problems. So there's going to be a lot of good drivers. Chad Cole, Mike Kelly, Chad Coleman coming from the back as we get ready to go green.
Yep, pace car getting ready to take us to the green here. J.D. Laird on the outside. The 00 machine of Larry
Green
Pace
flag.
will
Have a great day. Have fun.
green down at the bottom of the apron. I guess we're going to see that a lot tonight, Joe. Mimics of last week at Phoenix when those guys would go down the backstretch to the oval there.
Yeah, just have to be careful because that's like an easy thing to do, but it's we'll upset the car there and hopefully not cause some problems for some driver and go right back up the track in front of the field.
All right, so everyone cleanly gets through turns 1 and 2. Now we're working 3 and 4. Lap 1 to complete here. The 00 machine of Larry Pace will do so, and we're still green flag. Look at Malik Ray down at the bottom underneath the 97 car. The 97 is J.D. Laird tonight. He's on the outside of his Camaro. He'll let Malik Ray go on by. Kyle Taraska is behind him. That is the top 5, folks. Single file down the backstretch here at Chicagoland. The next person in line would be Seth the Merchant and that Enos Camaro. As single file for the most part so far, Joe. Single file racing.
Yeah, good to see us get off to such a great start because it's like I said, it's very tricky coming off of 2. You know, back in the back we got Glenn Campbell there battling with the number 54 car and the 64 Michael Priester, Bobby Wetzel looking inside. Let's just hope we can stay green and get some good lap times and some good racing here for the guys.
Yeah, it's good to see the old 54 machine, 64 machine, Michael Priester, and that puzzle paint shot skin. Behind him, you mentioned Bobby Wetzel. He always runs good. Good to see another Ford GT out there. Not a huge fan of the Ford myself, but you know, you got to support all the car manufacturers in the sim here.
Yeah, it's great to see all the manufacturers, Chevrolet, Ford, Toyota represented. Seems like Chevrolet has the majority of the field, but it's anybody's race out there today. All these cars are so equal. We'll just it's going to be who can save their tires and manage it in the pit strategy.
Back here in 8th spot, we mentioned earlier, gmercer.com racer E.J. O'Rourke ahead of Steve Gottschalk, cleanest racer. The Sim 500 now. Steve Gottschalk's got some company on the outside. The number 63 of Brian Boris Cook looking, can't find the room. He looked just for a minute. Now he dives underneath, possibly to make a move into turn 3 here. Those cars are nose to tail. Here's the pass. Steve Gottschalk up underneath the 41 of EJ, Joe.
Yep, coming off the 4 here. They're coming. He looks like he's got a quarter on him, but EJ slams the door on him there. Boy, that could have got bad for. Looks like Gottschalk cut him a break there. But how long is he going to stay patient there, Michael?
I don't know. Brian Boris Cook gets a little wobbly in 1. He'll keep the car going pretty good in his beautiful yellow and black DeWalt Toyota as he hammers it down the backstretch, 190 miles an hour, entering turns 3 as he gets up behind Gottschalk. And there's also a battle behind them, Joe.
Yeah, Formosa in the discount tires car picks up a spot. Looks like he made his way around the car in front of him. It looks like, who did he just get by? Probably Mike Kelly or Paul Nicholas Cooper. So always fast is Scott Formosa. Has a little trouble getting to the end sometimes, but he's always fast. So let's see what he can do tonight. He's in another one of those Ford Mustangs.
Man, the battle of the closest racing on the racetrack is for the battle for 8th spot with E.J. O'Rourke leading that charge. But there's some tight racing behind him. The Brian Boris Cook machine, again, gets a little wobbly as he shoots high here. Gives Scott Formosa maybe a run for his money. And early on, 7 laps complete. Boris almost into the wall there off of 2. It gets tight off the corners here in Chicago.
Yeah, well, the car tends to get free up there, and you have to kind of chase it up the track to keep it underneath you. And you're eventually going to run out of room and either scrape the wall or spin it. It's very free off that corner, too. And looks like maybe Brian Boris has thought, I might need to settle back here and let these guys go. He's let Formosa go. Looks like he's letting Mike Kelly go by on the inside. But good racing back there. You're right. That's the tightest battle on the track. I got a lot of fast guys in qualifying coming up through there. It looks like Chad Coleman's looking to the inside, as well as Brandon Chaburko.
Yep, here comes Chad Coleman. That's the Hot Wheels blue machine you see on the screen there. Side by side in front of him, though, is Brian Boris Cook and the Deuce is Loose Mike Kelly. Down the front stretch at Chicago, Brandon Chaburko looking on the eye side there. Not going to find it. Now, last week, folks, we were at Phoenix. Malik Ray wins the race. EJ, ever so close, finishes second. Brandon Chaburko third. And Parker Kligerman fourth. J.D. Laird would round out your top five. That was last week at Phoenix. Here we are at Chicagoland, side-by-side racing. Let's keep the eyes on the 12th spot here with Brian Boris Cook, the Coleman machine, and Brandon Chaburko.
Yeah, and behind them you have Chad Cole working his way up, probably the silver fox of this racing. Reminds me a lot of David Pearson, the way Chad Cole is. You don't really hear his name until about the last 15 or 20 laps, and then he's probably going to be up there in the top five somewhere.
Chad Cole started this race, by the way, in the 17th position. One of those fell on to qualify. He has moved up 2 spots. Like you mentioned, though, towards the end of the race, you'll see him back up, back up front. And it's just part of his racing.
Yeah, he does a masterful job. He has a sense of trouble, can keep his car out of it. Saves his equipment. Very rarely does he get any damage, and always the threat there at the end of the race. Good strategy, good pit crew on that number 8 car. So keep an eye on him. I guarantee you, when this race is over, Chad Cole will not be 14th.
And another thing too, Joe, I'm looking at the stat sheet here, and there's a big old goose egg in one of the columns of Chad Cole, and it's, as you mentioned, I mean, he's not going to be 14th at the end of this race. He's going to be top 10. He's going to be top 5 perhaps. But that big 0, it's just throwing me off a little bit. Chad Cole winless so far in the Monday Night Money Series. Out of 15 races, winless. Can you believe that?
Well, he has a strategy, and his strategy is to run the race. He very rarely does he go out and even attempt a qualifying lap. He comes from the back, and, that's a tough deal. The guys up front right now, we still got Larry Pace leading by 0.2 of a second over Justin Fuller and Malik Ray. You can't spot those guys 20 spots and have a green flag run and run those guys down. Now, you can catch a lot of them, but if you don't start up in the top 10 in these races, the field's so tight, it's tough to come from the back to the front.
As you mentioned up front, let's take a look at them. Justin Fuller in his 40 machine is in second spot. Can't quite find any room for error here as he's trying to catch Pace in front of him. He's turning a little bit slower lap time, 0.91 to Larry Pace's 0.15. So Larry has kind of checked out a little bit. He's about 3 car lengths ahead of Justin Fuller down the front stretch here.
Yeah, Larry is he's the ultimate. You hear it a lot in racing, slow down to go faster. And I've spent a lot of time talking to Larry and studying his driving style. And he has got it perfected of learning how to take his car slower into the corners and make a faster lap time. As it looks like Malik Ray is going to take over second from Justin Fuller. So we'll see if he can get up and put some pressure on Larry. I'm sure that's going to be a concern of Larry when he looks in the mirror and sees that big target number 1 filling up his rear deck lid.
Oh yeah, no kidding. He just made a heck of a move on Justin Fuller. I mean, went right by him in the corner, and he has since sailed. And like you said, he's got his eyes set on that number 1 machine, Larry Pace up front right now. Looking back, Joe, E.J. O'Rourke's got his hands full with Steve Gottschalk, the 91 machine underneath. Looking for a pass coming off of turn 4 at Chicagoland. 17 laps into the books, and he'll make the pass.
Yeah, the lap times have dropped off a second and a half to 2 seconds just after 18 laps of green flag racing. So now it's when it gets really tricky. Who's saved their tires? Who's burnt their stuff up? As to take away from the Fox broadcast team, we're going to have some comers and goers for sure.
Absolutely. Third
spot. Chaburko in trouble. Chaburko in trouble off of turn 2, it looks like. Hard in the inside wall, no caution. He is severely shortened up the backside of that Snap-on Tools number 21 Mustang. He's going to come back out on the track, but he a top point getter is trying in trouble there on lap 19.
Yep, coming out of corner 2, Joe. That car just got tight, and he ate the outside wall, and it just spun on him. And as you mentioned, hits the inside of the wall there down the backstretch hard, very hard. No caution. He's on pit road, and he's not happy about it.
Well, like I said, your car gets really free and light in the middle of 1 and 2, and you have to start chasing it up the track, and you're going to run out of room. That wall's there, and that wall doesn't give, so looks like Bobby Wetzel's on pit road. I probably had the same kind of contact with the wall. He's in there for some repairs, but not a good night for a top point guy, Brandon Chaburko, and it just shows you how tough it is when you got a wheel man like Chaburko finding the wall. It's got to be tough for these other competitors.
Yeah, we'll see if we can't track him down here and try to get a hold of him to see what exactly happened for that to happen. I mean, obviously it's a tough break for him, as you mentioned, a points getter trying to find his way into the grid. Man, I hate to see that for Brandon. He's tried so hard to win race number 2. He won the first race, by the way, of the Sim 500 at Atlanta, but since then he's just not finding his what do you call it,
his mojo.
His mojo, yeah, his game.
Well, I'm back up front watching Larry Pace and Malik Ray. They're matching each other right now with 32.4 lap time, just to show you, Larry Pace qualified at a 30.7, and now he's dropped off all the way to a 32.4. So we've dropped to 2nd and 7/10 here just in 22 laps. I believe they'll probably split this race up into 2 pit stops, so we should probably be getting ready here in probably the next 10 or 15 laps for some green flag pit stops.
Check out the number 9 spot, E.J. O'Rourke. Chad Cole goes by him. Mike Kelly now looking to crack the top 10 for the first time tonight. Whoa, he gets loose off 2. Saves it, though. Whew. Man.
Mike's an old dirt track racer. He'd rather ride sideways down the straightaways as straight. But another solid, steady, consistent performer is Mike Kelly. Very rarely will he put himself in any trouble. So just impressed with Chad Cole. Said now that we've got the laps on the tires, he is really coming forward, made his way all the way up to 9th.
How about this? Casey Duncan, driver of the Toyota machine, 17 car, 25th spot right now on pit road, 1 lap down. No damage to the car. I've looked all the way around it, so unscheduled. Oh, mechanical or some sort of failure there. Casey Duncan pulling that car behind the garage. You hate to see that. Something transpired with that machine. Up front, Malik Ray looking for the lead, Joe.
Looks like Jimmy North has found some trouble.
Oh, boy, yeah, Jimmy North in the grass, driver of the 84 Caterpillar car. Looks like a solo spin there, trying to get up underneath a 39 car of Chris Gabu.
Yeah, he's going to bring it. He's going to bring it to pit road. Doesn't look like he's suffered too much damage, so hopefully the Caterpillar crew will get that thing serviced and get him right back out on the pits. But to go back to touch on Chad Cole a little bit and starting at the back. Right now, Chad Cole up to 9th spot. He's running times equal to the leaders, but you can't gain on them when you're running the same time as they're running.
That is true. Mike Kelly still working E.J. O'Rourke's machine back there in 10th spot. Let's go back up to the front here, Joe. We got a close battle. Malik Ray, half a car length behind, less than a car length behind, a quarter car length behind. He's right on the back door of Larry Pace going down the backstretch here. 26 laps into the books, folks. 127 total for tonight's race. We'll have 100 to go here at the stripe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Larry will battle him or he will maybe concede the spot and let him go. I don't think Larry's going to do that. But as I say that, it looks like Malik Ray's looking inside, but nope. Larry Pace is going to shut the door, and, you know, it's going to be hard unless Larry makes a mistake or for Malik to get by, because they're running about the same speed, even though I believe Malik Ray's probably a little faster right now.
Yeah, onboard camera here with Malik Ray. This is what it's like, folks. 160 miles an hour coming off of turn 4. Malik Ray, driver of the number 1, looking on the outside of Larry Pace. He'll think better of it, go down to the bottom. He'll look underneath, Joe. We'll see a pass and 1.
Let's see. Larry gives him a lane, and it looks like Malik, they're going to come off of 2 side by side. Is it going to let him go, or are they going to side by side down the back straightaway? Who's going to give going into 3 there, Mike?
Looks like the number 1 machine going to take way of the King of Denair. The man on the outside, King of Denair. Larry Pace falling.
He's got the moment.
Oh, who was it at the stripe, Joe? Was it Malik?
They gave it to Malik, but he's going to clear him into 1. Pace had the momentum on the outside, but looked like he thought better of it. Maybe a little too early on lap 30. Let's ride behind him and see what he's got. Maybe don't look for Pace to fall too far back, but Malik Ray's just, he's got this figured out. It's going to be tough for people now that he's out front, unless the target crew makes a mistake on pit road. Hopefully it's the number 1 on Malik Ray's car is not going to signify the rest of the night for Ray.
I mean, my goodness, Joe. Let's just, Malik Ray, top 10s in every single race except Indy, okay, Indianapolis. Out of those 9 races, or 9 of those 9 starts, if you will, 5 of them he has won. And he has finished in the top 10 8 times. I mean, 18 incident points. He doesn't wreck. It's phenomenal. The kid has got this series drawed up to a T. As Larry Pace, like you said, he's not going away. Closed within a half a car length there. Malik Ray, though, is just a very fascinating driver, kid, if you will, to watch behind that wheel.
I've still been keeping an eye back there on the number 8 car of Chad Cole. Malik Ray's last lap was a 33.02, and Chad Cole, they run a 32.7, so he was 0.3 faster. So Chad Cole, he has worked his way. Oh, goodness, sounds like the Puerto Rican has hit the grass.
Oh, yeah, 26 car, Jose Gonzalez trying to make a green flag pit stop here and overshoots the pits, Joe, and that's gonna slow it. He was able to, he's coming back on the racetrack and spins it down into the pit area. Jose Gonzalez, oh man.
Yeah, he went from bad to worse, but that's gonna bring out a caution. That's 21 drivers on the lead lap. I believe those guys, Louis Robinette, Patrick Colby, those guys that were in danger of going a lap down, are glad to see the caution. What a tough break, though, for some guys that pitted early. Justin Fuller, Seth the Merchant, both just come off a pit road down a lap. Justin Fuller will get the lucky dog. Well, the Merchant probably stay out and get the wave around. Let's get green flag pit stops will be coming up here, though. We'll see who can do what.
Man, first caution of the night, folks. We got 33 laps. Now make it 34 before the first caution. So that's going to settle things down a little bit. We'll expect to see everybody, unless you're trapped a lap down, to come down pit road. Good timing, I guess, for the most part, Joe. We were seeing multiple people starting to do their green flag pit stops, and now they'll have to do it the old-fashioned way under the yellow.
Well, and it looks like it's going to work out for Gonzalez, because he had the trouble getting on pit road, but it looks like he's going to stay on the lead lap. As the pits will be open this time, I guarantee you all 21 of the guys on the lead lap. Yep, here they come, Michael, down pit road.
Yep, Malik Ray going to bring the field with him. Down on pit road, Larry Pace has got the furthest pit stop to go to. He's got the last stall there. Malik Ray will be, one stall behind him, so let's see how this transfolds.
I imagine it's going to be 4 tires and fuel for everybody. Nobody will be trying any 2 tires this early in the race. So we'll see whose crew is up to the pits as Malik Ray hits his box. The right side is going up, tires going on. They'll be going down, going around to the left side. Same thing going on in the first pit. Who's going to be the winner out of pit road?
Yeah, 4 tires, as you mentioned, for all cars. Larry Pace going to squill off pit road. Malik Ray second. Kyle Taraska moves up 1 spot to third. J.D. Laird will be fourth. Mike Kelly will come out of his pit stop in 5th spot. And there's your top 5, folks. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to go get me a Chicagoland hot dog. Joe, you do the same. We'll be back, folks.
Start your engine!
Oh, man. Welcome back, folks. Chicagoland hot dog, buddy. Joe, one of the best.
Glad you can like it. I'll hold out for the Martinsville Bologna sandwich.
Well, first caution in the books. Folks, if you're just joining us, Joe Hudson, guest broadcaster in the booth with us tonight. Joe Hudson will be famous in a couple of weeks. I hope he doesn't mind. I was given a note earlier from Joey Jatina in the Yellow Flag Productions hauler to mention that Joe Hudson will be making his NASCAR Camping World Truck debut in a few weeks in Canada.
I don't think we're going. Looking for some debris up
we
here.
We talked earlier. You've got your passport. You're ready to go to Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm ready. The question is going to be if the Mike Harmon Racing Team has the truck ready, but I've spent a lot of time talking to Mike about every day. Seems like everything's coming along. The truck I'm actually going to drive was when they raced in Eldora. Put some new fenders on it. It's back from the body shop today. Motors came back, so they're just have to put everything together, but I'm feeling better about it. Once in a lifetime opportunity. Can't thank Mike Harmon enough and all the partners that I've had and friends. I have called in every favor from everybody I've ever met in my NASCAR experiences, and just everybody's helped me. I'm just so grateful. Can't wait to take this in and get out there. And, you know, when they die and I read my eulogy, they can say, Annie had one NASCAR start.
That's right, Joe. It's always a pleasure to have you in the booth anytime you want, buddy. Going to get his first start, man. That's going to be a lot of fun. And like you mentioned at the eulogy, and I know you're kidding, but, you know, that's just something that you get to tell your grandkids one day, or just, you know, a family life of wish. You know, I don't think I'll ever do that, per se, you know, so it's something that you've got one up on a lot of people, man. Good luck to you.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, a lot of people are going, oh, man, you were 5 seconds off the pace. It was Mike Harmon Racing. But just getting there is a win for me, and anywhere we finish doesn't really matter. So I've been watching here, though. My man, Chad Cole, talk about an unlucky break. He was coming onto pit road when that caution came out. He sped on back out to the track, stayed on the lead lap, but after working his way all the way from 17th back to 6th, he's going to have to restart in 16th and do it all over again.
Do it all over again, and it took him about 38 laps to do it. So here we go.
Ready, green
Larry
flag.
Pace.
I'm trying to get this last bit of this hot
You
dog
go,
down.
you go ahead, Larry Pace, with a good jump on the start. Going to lead the field down into 1. Malik Ray side by side for 3rd is going to be J.D. Laird and Kyle Tarasco on the inside. Mike Kelly going to try to follow Tarasco through on the inside as J.D. Laird attempts to get it wound up down the back straightaway and hold off Mike Kelly. But Mike Kelly's going to have the position as they head off into 3. Here comes Chad Coleman looking on the inside. Can he do anything? Looks like they're going to finally straighten out as they come off of 4.
Oh!
With
Paul Nicholas Cooper in the wall. Sorry to interrupt, Joe. Golly. He was running about 6 spots. Joe, I don't know if you've seen it, but he cremated the outside wall off of 4 there. He'll fall all the way to 10th now. 13th, excuse me. God.
might not show a lot of damage on your car when you're going through there, but any contact with these walls at these super speedway 1.5 mile tracks is going to kill your straightaway speed. Out. Looks like we had another. Looks like Chad Coleman must have got loose and bottled up the field up there, and as he is dropping back through the field as well. Didn't see what happened up there, but he was running somewhere in the top 5, and he's kind of falling back. Got in line here. Let's see if he can make his way back up. Still, up front, looks like it's going to be Mike, or it's still Larry Pace leading over Malik Ray and Mike Kelly now in first place.
Wow! Look at that! Look at the lead that Larry Pace, Joe, has got on Malik Ray now after this restart here. And you notice the first start of the race, the green flag dropped. They kind of went single file real quick. Did you notice that second green flag start, if you will, of the race here? You notice how they stayed side by side for a little longer and a little bit more aggressive? You can kind of feel the momentum and temperature rising.
Yeah, well, it's, two easiest places to pass are on pit road with the quick pit stop and then getting all you can get on these restarts. So it's usually pretty aggressive on the restarts, especially later up into the race you go. But now, Larry stretched out about a 0.3 of a second lead over Malik. They're running about the same lap speed. It's going to become taking care of your tires again as Mike Kelly back in third, J.D. Laird, Kyle Tarasco, Boris Cook. They're going to settle in, see if they can chase them down or watch them get smaller.
Yeah, just ran through the whole entire field here, Joe. All drivers, single file, right now on the racetrack. So that's a good sign. People trying to be patient here. Oh, Mike Kelly now, third spot, the 97 V there. They got awful close there to a pass. Still single file, though. Great racing so far, Joe. Only one caution here at Chicagoland Speedway. We talked before the race, and I thought they were going to be a lot looser off, too.
Yeah, well, it's just a testament of Sim 500's drivers and their skill level and their ability to adapt. Practice was very, very loose off of 2 as we make laps and the rubber gets built up, track gets a little snugger. But the Sim 500 guys, same, they just adapt and overcome. It looks like J.D. Laird is going to go to the inside of Mike Kelly and clear him off of 2. Not real sure if Mike took 4. He's always likes to change up that strategy and take 2. Seemed like it might have been a little early in the race for Mike Kelly to take two tires. But he is a strong 4th right now. J.D. Laird closing in on the leaders. It looks like Malik Ray's going to look inside at the line to take the lead there, Michael.
Yep, Larry Pace to the high side, the green and yellow Camaro. Larry Pace to the top, Malik Ray to the bottom. through one, coming out of two. Malik Ray looks to have the lead. Larry Pace not giving it up just yet. Down the back stretch, they'll single file it. Malik Ray comes up the block. I love it.
It looked like Larry Pace had a thought there to try to do the crossover. And you could have got a piece of paper between their bumpers as he made that crossover move. But they're all state looking inside. Oh, they're just so tight down through there. You don't realize the skill that takes, Michael, to run that fast, that close together.
Woo! Two blocks, two back-to-back blocks. Malik Ray coming up in front of Larry Pace to end the run on the back stretch, and down the front stretch he does the same. Now Larry falling. J.D. Laird drives his Camaro up underneath him into turns 3 here. Lap car ahead, he'll stay high. That's going to be Bobby Wetzel, folks. Meanwhile, Laird's trying to make the pass on Mr. Pace, and J.D. Laird's looking like he's picking up speed here.
Yeah, I'm sure that Laird pit crew, they must have made an adjustment on that 97 car on his pit stop there, and it's really brought that 97 car to life. Likewise, they might have over-adjusted on the 00, as he's definitely not as fast as he was earlier on, as Mike Kelly has closed up on him to battle for third.
Mike Kelly is coming up. He'll work up underneath Bobby Wetzel, the lap car. He'll stay high. Down the front stretch, the 97 nearly into the grass. Puts both left side tires down in the asphalt. Now he'll come back up turns 1 and 2. He'll run second. Trying to catch that leader, Malik Ray. He flows in a little bit. Looks like he's got a big run off, too, down the backstretch, Joe.
I tell you, J.D. Laird, a heck of a driver. If he gets a sniff of the lead, it's like a bloodhound. He's going to dog you till he can either get you by you or pressure you into a mistake, and I guarantee you he's smelling blood right now in that 97 car.
Folks, don't look now, but the 97, J.D. Laird in turn 1 sneaks up to the back rear end bumper of Malik Ray. Down into turn 2, Laird with the run off the corner, coming down the backstretch.
Looked like he got off in there a little deep, probably got a little arrow tied up under there, got the air took off the nose, had to roll out and give him another one, but they are matching each other on lap speed, so let's just see if maybe Laird's going a little too hard, burning his stuff up. Malik's maybe just keeping him at bay, and who knows what Larry Pace, Mike Kelly, they may just be right there like, go ahead, guys, we'll be back here when you come back to us.
Keep your eye out on that, Joe. Back in 11th spot, Tim Matthews, driver of the 54 blue and silver machine. He'll race beside Chris Cavue and take over that top 10 spot, but don't look now. Here comes the man out of Puerto Rico up underneath the 39 car. He'll try to get 11th spot. Jose, remember, almost or did get tracked down a lap, nearly, as he makes the pass, and now he'll set his Camaro sights on Tim Matthews.
Yeah, Jose, while bringing out the caution, was very fortunate for him. I mean, kept him on the lead lap. He was definitely going to lose a lap with his troubles getting on and off of pit road there. Right now, he's in decent shape, back to 11th. My man Chad Cole's made his way back to 14th, slowly but surely. Right there in front of him is the other Chad, another consistent Chad Coleman. Great racing back there. All of that about 3.5 seconds behind our leader, Malik Ray.
And this is the closest close racing. Now Jose Gonzalez in the 11th spot works up underneath Tim Matthews. Folks, the lead has not changed up front. J.D. Laird slipped a little bit. He's about 4 car lengths behind. Keep your eye out on Gonzalez and Matthews for now, though, Pedro. The Camaro of Tim Matthews racing to the high side. Jose to the bottom. Downs through 3 and 4. They'll race single file still. Up ahead of them, the 63 and 80 of Scott Formosa. Racing at Chicagoland down the front stretch, Joe. That's the battle for 8th.
Yes, and looks like Formosa's going to clear for Brian Boris Cook off into 1. So give Scott Formosa the 7th spot. Looks like the 63 may have thought of trying to get back under him. Yeah, he's looking, but Formosa's going to hold him off as they head back into 3. It's Justin Fuller just in front of them. He got trapped a lap down. He made an early pit stop, but he was the lucky dog, and he's worked his way all the way back to 6th after starting 3rd in tonight's race.
Just behind them, again, Jose Gonzalez makes the pass on Tim Matthews. We're working Pedro's keyboard tonight. Chad Coleman in the 12th spot. He's down to the bottom of Tim Matthews now. Chad Cole, bring the double Chad Cole machine down onto the bottom. The Chad without the man.
Chad Coleman, Chad Cole, both of them looking to take over a spot, pick up a spot from the number 54 of Tim Matthews. Looks like Coleman will clear him off of 4, and side by side at the stripe, it's the number 8 of Chad Cole, the 54 of Tim Matthews. It was a dead heat that time, but it looks like Cole will clear him off into 1 and pick up the 12th spot.
How about that? The two Fords now 11th and 12th on the racetrack. Chad Coleman in 11th, and of course Chad Cole without the man in 12th. Both run Fords. Tim Matthews now 13th. Michael Priester 14th, and Chris Cabu will round out your top 15, folks. No change up front. In fact, it's gotten a little bit further strung out. Malik Ray to about 5 car lengths now. Call it 6 as Larry Pace is setting his sights on the second place car. J.D. Laird, Mike Kelly in tow behind them, Joe. It's getting fascinating. 59 laps will be complete this time by. Nearly halfway home here at Chicagoland Speedway.
Yep, they've ran about 22 laps since they pitted last, so the tires are starting to fall off now, and we'll see the guys that have been saving their stuff, like Chad Cole, who's looking to the inside of Chad Coleman now, make their way back up to the front. Up front, Malik Ray is slowly but surely eking it out. I've been watching his lap times. He's been a half a tenth to less than that faster, so he's stretching it out a little bit every lap. Pace is closing back in on Laird, and looks like he may be taking over the second spot here before long.
Justin Fuller in the middle of that running 6th spot, Joe, has come down pit road and has pulled that car behind the garage. He's done. Now 6th spot coming off the track and going straight to the garage area. We'll hope that car just probably blew up on him or something there. But nevertheless, still green flag racing out front and throughout the entire field here. Green flag pit stop should be coming up. We're about halfway home, I would imagine, Joe. Anything's possible, though.
The 40 car got into the wall coming off of 4 and it pancaked the whole right side. He realized he wasn't going to be competitive, and they were packing it up. Going to go on back probably toward their shop in North Carolina and get ready for Dover next week. Hate to see him. He's always a fast guy, but looks like they're done for the night.
Now, Joe, is that 4 incident points or is that 2?
With no caution, that will be 0 points for him.
Oh. So it's only so you're not judged on the incident points, it's the cautions.
Right. You're only if you bring out a caution here in the Monday night series, it's 2 points. Even if you claim it, once you get up to 5 points, you're parked for a night. So, you mentioned Stenzel earlier with 100. That's a little misleading, but they're not all that bad. Not all of them bring out a caution.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the incident points there are probably the 4X or the 2X that the drivers get on contact, I'm guessing. For folks, if you don't know that, that's part of like the deal here. Hitting the wall, I think it's a 2X. If you hit somebody, it's a 4X. It kind of keeps you, I guess, trying to race competitively but safely at the same time.
Yep, and it tries to keep everybody honest and holds everybody accountable, and it keeps the drivers, it keeps them honest. Keeps the field tight, and this, like, I can't express to you again when Sim 500 started back, a few short months ago, just the caliber of driver that they've attracted over this short period. As you can tell tonight, we've run 60 laps with 1 caution.
And up front, the number 2 position car, J.D. Laird, finally puts the hand out the window, and Larry Pace goes on by. Almost brought Mike Kelly with him. He'll have to settle for 4th for now. J.D. Laird giving up 2nd spot. Mike Kelly looking off of 4. Maybe going to put a nose up underneath the 97 of J.D. Laird. Nope, not going to quite do it there yet. So, mix them back up, Joe, as someone else try Malik Ray for a change here. 66 laps complete out of 127.
Yeah, like
Halfway
I said,
home, Joe.
Yeah, like I said, these guys are probably on the radio screaming at the crews for they want 4 tires. I imagine they might try to make it on one more stop. So if they do that, they're probably going to have to go another 15 or 20 laps so they come in the pits. You know, top 5 is Malik Ray, Larry Pace, J.D. Laird, Mike Kelly, Kyle Taraska still running a tight 5th. It's the second back to Scott Formosa, Cook. Chad Cole has made his way all the way back to 8th. The Merchant is 9th. And Jose Gonzalez is rounding out the top 10 here at the halfway point.
Yeah, keep your eyes out on Seth the Merchant right now. Driver of the 57 machine. 3 wide coming off of turn 4. E.J. O'Warwick putting the metal to the pedal, buddy. Or is it that the other way around, Joe?
Yeah.
Pedal to the metal. Kyle, look at him.
EJ's another one who lost a lap there on a pit stop on a pitting under green there, and he is actually 1 lap down. First car a lap down in 20th. Definitely probably got some smoke coming out of his nostrils as he's trying to keep that lucky dog position and work his way back up to the front. But it's a 20th spot right now. So we're hearing from the tower, he took a green flag pit stop 9 laps ago. So with those fresh tires, you can see he's 2 seconds a lap, easy, faster than the rest of the field.
I was about to say, Joe, he took them 3 wide on the outside and passed them like they were sitting still and went by 2 other drivers like they were nothing. And then, of course, like you said, the radio comes in from the tower and says he's taking fresh Goodyears. Man, he is a man on a mission, though. So that's good to hear. I love green flag pit stops. I like strategy here.
Oh, and I promise you, there's nothing like the feeling of having those 4 fresh Goodyears on there. You feel like Superman. 2 seconds a lap faster than the field. Oh, you close on him so fast as he's already made his way back up to 4th place runner J.D. Laird. But the issue's going to be when these other guys pits, they're going to come out and his tires are going to be worn. So the strategy is maybe not pitting too early. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out.
Yeah, let's watch him get behind Mike Kelly, taking the draft off of him. Golly, gets him real upset there. Gets Mike Kelly upset as they kind of trigger finger it through 1 and 2 there. E.J. O'Warwick, like you said, 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field. Now Larry Pace ahead of him, and then Malik Ray, and then E.J. will have his lap back. And Steve Gottschalk has also pitted. Joe, he's being shown 1 lap down. So 72 laps complete now.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting coming down that front straightaway. O'Rourke got right up on 3rd place runner Mike Kelly, got him loose. If I wasn't mistaken, it looked like Mike Kelly was giving EJ the "you're number 1" sign as he went by him there down the back straightaway.
It's definitely possible because I'm telling you, they had to get on the binders there and nearly got into the back of Mike Kelly. So dangerous situation avoided. Now E.J. O'Warwick trying to get around Larry Pace. Larry Pace giving him a few fits here. Now he'll move up to the high side down the front stretch. E.J. O'Warwick making his way through the field. Fresh tires, folks. He is a man on a mission right now. He's got the leader, Malik Ray, ahead of him. If caution were to fall, it'd be devastating for E.J. If he was to come up here and get past Malik and then the caution come out, man, he'd be all right.
He probably, with this early short pit, he may even be the leader when Malik Ray and the other leaders pit. But again, they're going to come out and they're going to be second as he unlaps himself here. Right now he's turning laps about 1.5 seconds faster than the leaders. But like I said, in a couple of laps, those tires are going to equal out. And when the leaders come for new tires, he's going to just be a sitting duck.
And he does have his lap back. No one on pit road yet for the schedule. Oh, no! Seth the Merchant. Golly, in the 10th spot, nearly spins it down the backstretch. Pedro, I don't know if you can get that, but coming off of the corner, he nearly eats the rear end of Jose Gonzalez. Has to get way back on the binders. And, man, does he almost spin that car around. Golly.
Yeah, it looked like Jose got tight coming off a 2, or maybe he was free and he was pushing up into the wall, and Jose had to lift. Here comes the 57 with a head of steam, and he definitely had to take some evasive matters to keep from running right smack in the bag of the Puerto Rican Jose Gonzalez. Great job by all of them as they work their way past Scott Formosa, who probably will be looking to hit pit road pretty soon. He's falling back quickly now as we've run almost 40 laps since their last pit stop.
Yep, Scott Formosa gives way to the 57's Demersion. Now the 39 machine of Chris Gabot comes up. He'll take that spot over.
Yeah, he's coming on fresh tires. Oh, yeah.
You see that?
Yep, and Gabot is coming with fresh tires, so there's no need in holding him up. Just let these guys go. You got to look in your mirror and see who's coming on fresh tires and know you're not going to be any match for them, and just let them go.
That almost cost them.
Still interesting to see, 127 laps, we got 50 to go. So interesting to see how long Malik Ray, Larry Pace, Mike Kelly will stretch it. Their fuel will probably take them another 20 or 30 laps, but I don't look for them to stay out. I look for them to probably split it up in half and be pitting here within 10 laps.
I would imagine so. Let's see, in the 5th spot, Kyle Tarasca. Pedro gets loose off of 4 there. That's going to let Chad Cole come by. Golly, 3 wide down the front stretch in Chicago. The 39 splitting the hot dog between the buns, Joe. Getting off into turn 1. Woo!
Yeah, and Larry Pace has closed it down to less than a half a second on Malik Ray. He's running there a half a tenth to matching his laps every time, and so up front they've stretched it out to almost a second and a half over Mike Kelly in 3rd. J.D. Laird has fallen a full 2 seconds back, and Chad Cole, after the pit road problem there, pitting when the caution come out, back up to 5th spot, running times faster than the leaders. 47 laps to go, though. It's going to be tough for him to make that up without a caution.
Folks, if you're just joining us late in the race here, about 50 or so laps to go, Yellow Flag TV's live presentation of the Monday Night Money Series, race number 15, Chicagoland Speedway. Tonight's sponsor, Sim 500, of course, for tonight's event. Not always the case. We've had many. Next week is the Meatball Company 151, Dover International Speedway. Of course, Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah, I talked to Jose earlier today. They've chartered a plane with all the Meatball executives. We'll be flying up to take in that race. A good contingent of Puerto Ricans will be making their way up to Delaware, probably leaving a few dollars there at the casino on the back straightaway. But it'll be nice to have Jose and his friends in the house.
And Jose, speaking of Jose Pedro, he'll come down pit road. Man, talk about pit road speed here, 50 miles an hour. I mean, that's about slow right there, ain't it?
Oh, yes, he makes a mistake. It's going to cost him.
Sliding. Sliding's not gliding, Jose, as he comes to a screeching halt, Joe.
Larry Pace, our second place car, is on pit road. Yeah, it goes without saying, it's very, very hard when you're out there running 180, 90 miles an hour, slowing it down in 3 and 4, getting down to that pit road speed at the last second. You can make up a lot of time or lose a lot of time when you're in race speed. Oh, Larry Pace overshoots his pits.
Yes, he does. Oh, gosh, that's terrible. Bad mistake there for Larry Pace. Left side's coming back on the racetrack. Nathan Bowers ending tonight's event. God, that's going to cost him there.
Yeah, what you don't realize, like I said, Larry Pace going to pit early, and he's going to come out, and he's going to be faster for a couple of laps. Well, the advantage he had of being faster for a couple of laps, he just gave that away by sliding through his pits and making his pit stop a couple of seconds longer. As Malik Ray's going to come in, I'll be surprised if Malik Ray's not coming, but doesn't hold the lead when they come back out of the pits.
Yeah, Malik Ray is coming down pit road. Of course, Mike Kelly just got done with his pit stop. Kyle Tarasca's out and away. Let's check on Malik Ray, though, down pit road here. 50 miles an hour. He'll come into his pit stop momentarily. I assume 4 tires here from Malik.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to get 4 tires, fill it up with Sunoco fuel, and be ready to go to the end of the race unless we get a caution. Perfect job by Malik getting into his pit stall. Gets it in there square. Pit crew's left side's already up. They're down. They're away. About 12.3 seconds there on the pit stop for Malik Ray.
And he is out and away, as you mentioned, very fast. Good pit stop for Malik Ray. That just shows you, folks, it takes more than just getting out on the racetrack. It takes getting down to the bottom into the pits, out of the pits safely, securely, fast as possible. And we saw Larry Pace giving up time on pit road for his slide-through. Jose Gonzalez as well. So it takes a lot more than just willing it and dealing it and dining it out there on that racetrack, Joe.
Yeah, well, we'll be able to see here, but the clock don't lie. You know, race car drivers will lie, but the stopwatch don't lie. When Larry Pace pitted, he was 0.3 of a second behind Malik Ray. Once everything squares out, we'll see how far he is and exactly how much that mistake cost him. Right now, Malik Ray running 10th, Larry Pace in 13th, so it cost him easily 2 to 3 seconds there.
Currently, your race leader is J.D. Laird. Malik Ray goes on by and gets his lap back. Scott Formosa as well. And here comes J.D. Laird down pit road, 98 miles an hour before the exit or entrance here. 50 down. Okay, he's good. That's a good pit stop coming in for J.D. Very fast.
Yeah, J.D.'s a very experienced driver. One of the best at getting off and on pit road. Got a great crew on the number 97 car as well. So let's see what they do as he heads into his pit stall.
Here he comes, 47 miles an hour, screeching halt. He'll slide through a little bit, but he'll be fine. Right side's going up on that machine of the 97 Camaro. Left side's now will come up, and he'll be out and away. He's in 4th currently. Now he'll go down 1 lap. So he's going to be at least half a lap down here for the race leaders.
Yeah, he stayed out there an awfully long time on those old tires. And checking back with Larry Pace and Malik Ray, Larry Pace not only a couple of spots behind, but he has lost a full 2 seconds with that one minor mistake. That's how tight it is here at Sim 500. One small mistake entering and sliding through your pits, 2 seconds behind now where he was running earlier behind a race leader, Malik Ray.
Current race leader being shown, Brian Boris Cook. Out front, good to see a Toyota out there. Proud owner of 2 Toyotas, Toyota Tundra. And my wife drives the 2017 Toyota Corolla. Very nice looking car, folks.
Caution, caution.
Caution! Caution out! On the Speedway.
Any feeling about the car at all?
Seth the Merchant. Yeah, 57 car. Boy, he's going to get a love tap from J.D. Laird. Oh, boy. And he's going to spin it, Joe.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back and see if we can get a replay on that, see what happened with J.D.
Oh, boy, he just came up into him and gave him the old Hadouken from Street Fighter there. Pedro,
yeah,
you remember Street Fighter?
It looked like maybe J.D. might could have used a little more patience there. He was coming on fresh tires, and probably could have given the 57 a little more room. That didn't, probably didn't have to happen like that. But J.D. stayed out on those old tires, gave up a lot of time, trying to get it back really, really quickly. Unfortunate for the 57 car of the Merchant that he goes in the way there. But caution, just what the 63 of Brian Boris needed, so he could get on, make his pit stop under caution. So it's going to shake things up for sure.
It will definitely shake things up. Everybody's pitting. Brian Boris Cook, race leader, bringing everybody behind him on pit road. Those that are stayed out were either trapped a lap down or have already been a lap down, so they'll get the lucky dog here. But race leader Brian Boris Cook looks like he might have. No, he came into the pit stop very good. It was, I think it was Jose Gonzalez who slid through his again.
Yeah, we might have saw some of the guys that pitted earlier. They might have taken only 2 tires to try to get some pit stops. As most of the leaders had less than 2 or 3 laps on their tires. So it's gonna going to be a jumbled up restart with about 35 laps to go when we go back green.
Oh boy. This reminds me of the old Elvis song, All Shook Up.
That's for sure. We're going to see some names up front that haven't been up front all night. Not necessarily they hadn't been having good runs, but hadn't been in the class with Malik Ray and Larry Pace and those guys. So we'll see what they can do now that they've got some good track position, some clean air. Just got a report that some of the DeMerchant crew was down there having an exchange with the guys in the J.D. Laird pit. What looks like calmer heads have prevailed. Everybody's gone back to their respective pit boxes, and no bloodshed.
At the stripe, race leader Chad Coleman will lead this thing. Seth DeMerchant, although somewhat upset, calmer, cooler heads have prevailed. He's in second, as you mentioned. Brian Boris Cook now third. He led the race as it was green and went caution. Move him back to third. Tim Matthews fourth, and Malik Ray will round out your top five, Joe.
Yes, and I believe Chad Coleman came in and only took up 2 tires. E.J. Rourke, remember we were talking about him earlier when he came in early, got those fresh tires. This works out perfect for him. He's able to come in and get 4 new skins. He's going to restart 6th. Scott Formosa, strong run, staying in the top 10 in 7th. Larry Pace, recovering back to 8th. Mike Kelly 9th. And Chris Jabot going to round out your top 10.
Now, folks, again, if you're just joining us, or if you're not used to hearing that second voice up here in the broadcast booth, it's not Pedro. We all know the sounds and likes of Pedro. It's not Pedro. It's Mr. Joe Hudson, and he swears that he's never commentated before. Now, we're going to take a tally at the end of this race between me and Pedro, because Joe, you've done a fabulous job tonight, son. I might have to talk to Joey about next week, see if you can get suspended again.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. You guys have made it so easy to work with. You welcome me in here, and you know, I stayed at a Holiday Inn last night. What can I say? Looks like we've doubled back up here, though. Must be getting ready to come back to the green flag. Going to see what's going to happen with the 57 up front. I can guarantee you one thing, though, with the 57, when the 97 gets to him, he's not going to pull over and let him go. So there might still be some sparks between those two guys. So keep an eye on them, Pedro.
Pedro, of course, no stranger to the broadcast booth. Seems like every time I check my Facebook or something, Pedro's going live with something. Pedro getting that computer a workout. I think I watched the truck race the other day on Yellow Flag TV. As we get back going green, the Hot Wheels Ford machine of Chad Coleman will take us there. Brian Boris Cook to the bottom of the 57 Enos DC Solar Camaro of Seth DeMerchant. Off into turn 1, Joe. We're winding the lap down under almost 30 laps to go. So it's a little quick, short shootout here, if you will.
Yeah, it didn't look like the 54 got up. Somebody just spun off of 2. The 54 didn't get a very good start, jammed them up. They went 3 wide with Malik Ray able to make his way up into 4th. Definitely blocked the momentum of E.J. Rourke, as now we got Formosa looking under him as they come off of 4. Back to the line, though, it's going to be Chad Coleman with Seth DeMerchant second.
1, 2, 3, 4. Can't throw a blanket over him, if you will. Malik Ray to the bottom. He'll work up underneath the 63 machine of Brian Boris Cook. Now 57, Seth DeMerchant says, I want the lead. He'll work up underneath Chad Coleman in turns 3 and 4.
What an exciting night for DeMerchant. First he spins, bringing out the caution. Now he's battling for the lead off of turn 4, and it looks like he's going to take the lead at the line. Seth DeMerchant to the lead, followed closely by Malik Ray off into 1, taking over second spot, but Coleman's going to battle back, keep the momentum up on the high side as they head down the back straightaway, side by side.
Off to the 63 of Brian Boris Cook now, work underneath the 20 of Chad Coleman, off into 3 and 4, Malik Ray will finally take over that second spot. Chad Coleman now giving up the ghost to the 63 car, Brian Boris Cook. Coleman now following backwards here. Tim Matthews now tries to work up underneath him for turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, just too many laps to go for Chad Coleman on that 2-tire strategy. Looks like everybody with 4 tires is going to make their way back through them. Eventually the times will slide out and Coleman will settle in there, but he's definitely paying the price now for taking those 2 tires.
So out front, Seth DeMerchant looking for a win in the Sim 500. He's got Malik Ray, one of the best, behind him. About 3-4 car lengths. Malik Ray turns a 31.150 to Seth DeMerchant's good, but not good enough. 169 down the backstretch. Brian Boris Cook looks to gain on Malik Ray into 3.
Oh, and I would hate to be in Seth DeMerchant's position right now, looking in my rearview mirror, seeing the big target hood right in my rearview mirror. Yeah, Malik Ray looks like he's settled in, going to run a good pace. Brian Boris Cook up in thirds all over the back of Malik Ray, but I guarantee you the guy in the 63, he's doing everything he can do to stay with them. Those tires are going to start streaming in a few laps, and I believe the 63 will fall back. But just watch the number 1. He'll continue to get stronger. I look for Malik Ray to take the lead here within the next 5 laps.
Oh boy, down the front stretch, getting closer and closer. Malik Ray edging, trying to knife his way back into the top 1 position. He gets a little bit catty-cornered there in 1, off of 2. He's about half a car length behind. He's all over the back door now. Behind him is Brian Boris Cook. He's hungry for his first win.
Yeah, as Malik Ray continues to tighten that noose on the 57 of Seth DeMerchant. 1 small slip, 1 crack of the throttle. The number 1 of Malik Ray will dart to the inside and take over the lead. Looks like he's trying to get under him into 1. Is he going to? Yep, DeMerchant's going to give him a lane. Malik Ray slides his way into the lead off of turn 2, and it's off to Never Land for the number 1 car. I think you can let him check out without a caution. It looks like it's going to be Malik Ray's race to lose.
And now Brian Boris Cook, he'll pass Seth DeMerchant. Can Brian Boris Cook put his Toyota DeWalt machine into victory lane? Oh, he'll come down and block Seth DeMerchant. Down to the bottom. Seth's not ready to give up second yet, Joe. As now he'll kick the brakes into turns 1 there. Brian Boris Cook battling on the high side here at Chicagoland. Off of turns 2, 57 with the run. Look at that speed.
Yeah, he did the famous crossover move to get that position back. Just what Malik Ray loves to see in his mirror. These guys burning up their tires, battling side by side as he rides off into the sunset with the lead with 23 laps to go.
Exactly. That's exactly what Malik Ray's loving. Looking in the rearview mirror and seeing that 57 and 63 pulling crossover moves from the 90s. Brian Boris Cook off turn 2. Can he get by Seth? 31.883 his time last time by. 31.741 for Seth, so just a quick faster there. You know, Joe, if it's me in second or if it's me sitting in third with where Cook's at, you know, you almost just want to, you know, let's talk to each other on the mics. You know what I'm saying? Let's get our crews together. Who's faster? Do I think I'm faster? Do I think Cook's faster? Because I want somebody to run down there and pass Malik Ray. Don't give him 3 back-to-back wins.
Oh, I guarantee these guys are trying everything they can possibly do. Or earlier in the race, you know, DeMerchant might have realized that Cook was a little faster and let him go. Right now with 22 laps to go, you're not going to give up anything. You're going to do all you can get, but it's really a double-edged sword. You want to go hard enough to stay and hold your position, hopefully get yourself in good shape to run the leader down, but still 22 laps to go. You got to take care of your equipment because that's still a lot of laps, and these tires are going to fall off, and you've got to have something left for these last 10 laps.
It appears to me that Brian Boris Cook and Seth DeMerchant are running about equal lap times. Maybe Seth a little bit quicker, but just still nowhere fast enough to get to Malik Ray as we see now. Back in 6th spot and 7th spot, Scott Formosa and Kyle Taraska get into each other. Mike Kelly now works up on the high side at Chicagoland. Nearly 3 wide going into turn 3 there.
Yeah, these guys are really battling back there behind E.J. O'Rourke, Scott Formosa, Taraska, Mike Kelly. Larry Pace, who ran so strong earlier, led a bunch of laps right back there in that battle as well. Just shows you what that clean air, and that, again, that one small pit stop error by Larry Pace took him from a strong second to back there battling and doing all he can do to stay in the top 10.
I know. Oh, gosh, 2 guys ahead of them, side by side. Scott Formosa and Taraska nearly rubbing doors with each other. Chad Cole now works underneath Mike Kelly. This is the battle for the top 10 here, folks, at Chicagoland. 108 laps complete, so we're right at 20 to go here.
Yeah, the battle up front is Malik Ray stretched it out to almost 3/4 of a second. The battle, like you said, is back here for 6th through 12th spot, 13th spot. All these guys are right within a half a second of each other, nose to tail, banging. Taraska got into the 80 as he tried to make his entry into 3. Now Taraska looking under E.J. O'Rourke, and they're lined up under O'Rourke with try to all freight train him as they head down into 1.
And Taraska will make the pass. Now the 80 car, Scott Formosa, gets held up just a little bit, but look at that. Sideways wheelie, buddy. Coming through 2. He'll lose a lot of ground there, Formosa will. Larry Pace on by. Mike Kelly goes on by. Now Larry Pace up underneath EJ. What a move by Larry Pace to take 2 for 1 in the corner there. EJ going to be patient with him. Yeah, he'll let off there. That's a good move there.
Yeah, you don't realize that was a great job by Formosa. How hard it is to get these things back under control when they start to get sideways there on you. He did a great job to only lose 2 spots, but it's tight back there. O'Rourke seems to be slowing the field up a little bit. Mike Kelly looking for a place, but there's nowhere to go with Formosa on the inside and O'Rourke directly in front of him. Oh, Formosa not giving Mike Kelly a lot of room as they come off of 2 side by side. Chad Cole, golly, he has to have the record for passing the most cars tonight. He might need to invest. Oh, Rick behind him.
Yeah.
Behind him.
How you doing in there, kid?
Big Rick, Jose Gonzalez gets a J.D. Laird invitation to the outside wall into turn 1 there. Golly. Uh-oh, Jose smoking.
Yeah, I'm looking at the replay. Down into turn 1. I don't know, that's twice tonight that maybe JD could have used a little better courtesy there. He turned down. Jose was there, and this ruins Jose's night. That car's toast.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, J.D. Laird gives Jose an invitation to the outside wall. Oh, boy. Oh, man.
I can bet you there will not be any complimentary meatball sandwiches for the J.D. Laird crew after this race.
Yeah, and I think everybody was going to get one next week at Dover, except for Laird now, as you mentioned. Now, Joe, I don't know if you're going to watch the rest of this race or not, but I would decide to do it.
Yep, 15 laps to go. I'm coming for 4. If I'm Malik Ray, I'm Seth the Merchant, I'm coming for 4.
Oh, yeah. You're going to see, we'll see here, but I guarantee you there'll be going to be somebody's going to take 2.
Well, here we go. Pits are open. What's going to happen? Seth the Merchant's going to lead the field in, just like the Pied Piper. Everybody following him onto pit road. Let's see who's going to change the strategy up.
Mike Kelly takes 2. Mike Kelly, only driver, it appears to have taken 2.
Yep, and it looks like Malik Ray's crew does cold serve. They get him back off in second, then followed by Malik Ray. Going to be interesting to see what Mike Kelly can do with those 2 tires. I think that's a mistake. I do not think with 10 laps to go that he'll be able to hold on. But, you know, he was running back there 7th, 8th spot. If he can finish better than that, it was a good move. I don't think it's going to be a winning move, but probably a move good enough to keep him in the top 5, I'm going to say.
And depending on how good he can restart this race will be either good news or bad news for Seth DeMerchant, as he will restart 3rd spot behind race leader Mike Kelly. Malik Ray will restart in the 2nd spot. A little trickier position to restart races from, Joe. It's you're kind of having to look out the left side of your car to keep up with Mike Kelly on his on his doorstep, and then you've got to make sure you don't pass him. So a lot can transpire between those two statements.
Yeah, and sometimes in this sim racing, cautions will breed caution. So with 10 laps to go, 12 laps to go, I believe what we have now, if Mike Kelly can jump out and get a little bit of a lead and they run 2 or 3 laps and a caution come back out and the 3 or 4 caution laps, he may only have to hold the lead for 3 or 4 laps. I look for the Sim 500 guys to do a lot better job. Mike's a great driver. I just don't see how he can make those 2 tires hang on for the win, though, if this thing goes green to the end.
Now, the 2 cars you see up front there, 2 rival sponsor cars there, Caterpillar and John Deere. How about that? That'll make the news media up front there.
Yep, Jimmy North and the Rhinestone Cowboy, Glenn Campbell
yep.
They're both 1 lap down, looking going to probably take the wave around here, and guarantee they're going to get a good finish, because I'd probably bet we haven't seen our last caution.
Yes, it will put them back on the lead lap. Mike Kelly, folks, only driver to take 2 tires.
Yeah, he was probably hoping he'd see some more guys behind him would take 2 tires, but he's going to be the Lone Ranger out there by himself as we get the 1 to go, and the cars of Jimmy North and Glenn Campbell take the wave around. It's one thing I wish the Sim 500 would come up with, or the Sim Racing, iRacing, a way to make these races finish under green, because it's going to be too exciting up front to see anything happen in this race finish under a caution. So let's hope we can go green these last 10 laps.
115 laps complete. Not a lot of cautions tonight, folks. Been a relatively good, clean green flag racing. We've seen basically, 2 green flag pit stops, a green flag pit stop and a half, perhaps. Good racing here out tonight.
Yeah, I just got a report from the Jose Gonzalez pits. Jose has been down and climbed up on the pit box of J.D. Laird, expressed his displeasure, not very happy, had to be escorted out of there by some of the Chicago's finest. Definitely a lot of temper there coming from the Puerto Rican tonight after getting taken out by J.D. Laird. Pace car getting ready to come in here. You called the start there for us, Mike.
Here we go. Mike Kelly
green.
Gets off to a great start down the front stretch at Chicago.
Caution.
Wreck behind him.
Yep, big.
Like a protein shake or a bar or anything like that?
Perhaps. I thought it was bigger. Nicholas Cooper, huh?
Yep, and see, that's exactly what getting that track position will do for you with Mike Kelly. All these caution laps are going to help him out with make the 2 tires stop. He doesn't need green flag racing. This is playing into his hands.
I don't know if you saw what happened to Paul Nicholas Cooper, but looked like he got upended from old Patrick Colby. It looks like Patrick, oh man, yeah. He jammed that sucker into 2nd gear and lost control.
Yeah, well,
there it is.
Slick tires, green flag. Oh, yeah, he got sideways and then just could not hold on to it. And
Slideways, Joe.
Yeah, sideways. And Paul Nicholas Cooper, wrong place, wrong time. But let's hopefully they can get this field turned back out. Pace car didn't even have to slow down. Right down pit road, right back out onto the track. Hopefully it won't take long to get this cleaned back up so we can go back to green flag. Going to be interesting to see how they cross the last scoring loop. Looks like they're going to score DeMerchant 2nd, Malik Ray 3rd. See how that'll work out on the restart.
Well, we saw Seth get a great restart there behind Mike Kelly. Now, as you mentioned, can Malik Ray benefit from that?
Yeah.
And we'll find out, I mean, whew. This is shaping up to be a good one. This might be the last green flag chance we get here, Joe. We've got 2 here to go. If the lights come off the pace car this time by, we'll have 2 laps to go before green flag. Then we'll have the green, and then the come around. And if there's a caution after that next lap, we might see it end under caution. So that's what I don't like. I don't like seeing a race end under caution.
No, not these guys deserve better than that. That's just one of the things with iRacing, though. I hope they can look at that and figure out a way to let these races play themselves out. But there's one guy sitting up front right now that probably wouldn't care if we rode around 7 more laps under caution. He's probably screaming debris out on the track. It looks like he just threw a water bottle out of his car trying to keep the debris on the track for another lap of caution. But we'll see if he's a hero or a zero with those 2 tires here, hopefully in a couple of laps.
Mike Kelly is the man that you speak of. See, Mike Kelly's not up in the points. He has just came over to Sim 500. He was racing in another league on Monday nights, and that league kind of ended up, and he had sponsorship for that league, and that sponsorship, he filled the commitment with his sponsor. He came back over to Sim 500 about 4 or 5 races ago, so he's on down in the points, but still a competitor you've got to beat every race regardless. Oh, yeah, big time. We have 3 starts with the Sim 500 League here. 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s. Not too bad out of 3 starts there. And he's got a heck of a lead right now here, looking for his first win out of 4 starts, if you will. So, yeah, Mike Kelly, glad to have him on board. Turn 1 hero, by the way, Mike Kelly.
Yes, sir. We'll see. Hopefully he can be turn 1, 2, 3, and 4 hero with hopefully. I said hopefully they're going to give him 1 to go this time. So will that give us about a 6-lap shootout there, Mike?
Yeah, if they'll give him the green here, we'll have a 6-lap shootout. And if a caution were to come out, it needs to come out really quick. They can't do 2 or 3 laps and then afford a caution come out. Unless you're Mike Kelly now, like you mentioned. If I'm Mike Kelly, if I'm Seth the Merchant, you know, I wouldn't mind this thing ending under caution right now. But if you're Malik Ray, hungry for whatever reason for 6 wins out of 10 starts, I mean, come on. He's got to be full, right?
Oh, he's got an appetite for hunger that's never, for victory that's never quenched. And I guarantee you he's nervous right now, Malik Ray, knowing that he's had the car to beat all night long. Just the strategy here at the end, is it going to work out? I guarantee you nobody's wanting to see it go green these last 6 more than Malik Ray. It's going to be exciting any way you cut it. All the way back, 20 cars still on the lead lap. It's going to be tight for spots 1 through 20. It's going to be hard to say where to watch.
Oh, boy. Mike Kelly, Seth the Merchant, Malik Ray, Chad Coleman, Kyle Taraska, E.J. O'Rourke, Brian Boris Cook, J.D. Laird, Larry Pace, and Scott Formosa.
That's right.
Top 10.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. As we come to 6 laps to go, it's going to be Michael Keaton to call him to the green here as the pace car leads him off of 4.
Slowly but surely off of turn 4, the deuce of Mike Kelly takes us to the green. Seth trying to get a jump.
Green.
He'll have to double clutch it as he comes down to the front stretch, trying to get in front of Malik Ray to put on a little move there. Off into 1, Joe. Here we go.
Looks like Malik Ray's going to have the spot, take over second. Oh, side by side, though. Oh, Kelly gets loose! Kelly gets loose in front of the whole field. Big wreck off of turn 2. Kelly. Oh, they're still wrecking. Oh, big one. The big one at Chicago. Seth the Merchant's going to come out to be the big winner in all this.
Oh, man.
What excitement here. Oh, my gosh. Only in Sim 500. Mike Kelly, the 2 tires, just did not stick with him. He got loose in front of the whole field. Collected at least probably 10 or 12 of the top 20. Oh, man, they come back. It looks like at the line it's Seth the Merchant, Chad Coleman, Malik Ray, Kyle Taraska, Larry Pace, your top 5. Will we have time to get this cleaned up and go back to green?
Woo! I don't know. Man, what a wreck. Turn 1 hero turns into turn 2 hero. Mike Kelly off of the corner, midway through the corner, Joe, gets loose, saves it, gets loose, saves it, gets loose, and ultimately unable to save it. Oh, man. And Malik Ray, I don't know if you caught it, Joe, but he got a heck of a bump from behind.
Yeah, well, you know, everybody's trying to get all you can get on these restarts. And, you know, once they started jamming up, it was just, you know, they come off there, the track's blocked, everybody's making evasive moves, trying not to get in it. Paul Nicholas Cooper down pit road, car tore all to heck. Got Formosa on pit road, he's tore all up. J.D. Laird got a big part of it. Somebody went down the back straightaway, barrel rolling. Hopefully everybody's okay. Hopefully we'll get this thing. Yeah, hopefully we'll get this track cleaned up. They'll at least have maybe a one-lap shootout.
Oh, boy, E.J. O'Rourke staying out. He's in 5th spot. Take a look at him right now, Pedro. Heavy gray smoke pouring out beneath the hood. Hey, you know, I mean, if this thing's going to end under caution, E.J. will finish 5th. Smoking. If it were to go back green, I would imagine that there'll be a penalty for that. I don't know the...
If they go back green, he's not going to have any speed. Yeah. I've had examples where I've been riding around trying to get a finish out with it smoking, and there's no guarantee the motor won't give up before he can make these last 4 laps.
At the line, folks, we'll know. We will know. 1:24 will be complete at the line. There'll be 3 laps to go. Light's still on here. Joe, I think we're going to get a green, white, checkered, and it's going to be a green, white, checkered, folks. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean it's gonna be big, because I'm looking right now. Kyle Tarasca, all the way up to 4th spot. Car looks like it's been in a demolition derby. E.J. O'Rourke, as you mentioned, smoking. Larry Pace, most of those cars from that 3rd, 4th spot on back got a little bit of damage. We had 21 cars on the lead lap. That wreck took out 7 cars. As right now we only have 14 on the lead lap.
And how about this, buddy? Glenn Campbell driving the John Deere car, cracking the top 10 tonight.
Taking a wave around on that last restart.
What, like 6 laps ago?
10-4, 21st spot, now all the way back up. And Jimmy North took the wave around with him. He's all the way up to 11th. They're both got a little damage, so I'm still going to go with my man Malik Ray to pull this thing out.
Louis Robinette is in 8th spot. He's got extensive right side damage. Here comes E.J. O'Rourke down pit road. He'll make the good man's move right there. He'll get out of the way. He knows this thing's going back green. Folks, this is it. Will the lights come off?
Oh, my gosh. My heart is beating 100 miles an hour. I may have to go to Publix to get my blood pressure checked after this. This is going to be... And look who is up in 6th with not a scratch on his car. Chad Cole.
Hey, hey, Pedro, let's go to commercial right when they go to green.
Here we go. Pace car coming in there. You call them back for hopefully the last time here, Mike.
Here we go. Seth DeMerchant, driver of the 57 machine, takes us back to the green flag.
Green.
Little double clutch restart there. Malik Ray sizes him up pretty good on the outside. Now working up underneath him is Chad Coleman. Into turn 1 for the final time tonight.
Heck of a restart for Seth the Merchant. Heck of a restart. He's going to lead them by 2 or 3 car lengths down the back straightaway. Malik Ray working down the outside. He's going to run out of time. It's going to be the Merchant's race to win or lose here as he leads them into 3.
Coleman feathering it through turns 3 and 4. Off the corner for the final time tonight. The 57 machine will win it. Who will finish second? Malik Ray looks to get it at second. At the line, Chad Coleman third. Wow, Seth the Merchant wins at Chicagoland Speedway. Race win number 1 for him. Look at him going through 1 and 2 there, Joe.
Oh, what an exciting finish. He timed that restart perfect. Once he reached that restart zone, he gassed it up, got a lead, got Coleman and Malik Ray racing side by side. Give him the lead, give him enough gap out there as Malik Ray and Coleman battled side by side for the remainder of the race. Larry Pace about his way back to 4th after the pit stop error. And my man Chad Cole, again, top 5 there.
How about that? Seth the Merchant. Whew! It's over. Just like that. Green, white, checkered. Gotta love it. That's fascinating. Malik Ray will finish second, and third, Chad Coleman, as we called it. Folks, we'll step aside, take a quick commercial break. We hope to have the top 3 drivers from tonight in the post-race interviews. You're watching Yellow Flag TV's live presentation of the Monday Night Money Series, Sim 500 190 at Chicagoland Speedway. We'll be back.
Start your engine!
Back live here, Yellow Flag TV's live presentation of the final race tonight. Race number 15, Seth the Merchant will win it, and Chad Coleman will come home in 3rd spot. Chad, Mr. Chad Coleman finishing 3rd spot tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. Chad, tell us about the race, buddy, and man, what a finish with you and Malik Ray at the line there.
Drove through the field a little bit at the beginning. Got lucky at the end, trying to stretch some fuel to see if we could, have fresh tires at the end. And then it just turned into a crapshoot at the end. The finish with Malik was kind of fun. Seth got going on the restart.
Chad, tell us about the restart before the green-white checkered restart. You got off to a great start there, but nearly. Man, I don't know how you missed that wreck. You got by. You got a little, I think, front end damage there from hitting Malik, but you got by pretty good, man.
Yeah, the way the setup drove tonight, it would start out sliding and it would get tight, and then it would go back to where it would, it would slide a little bit. When we had about 15 to 18 laps on tires, and he took 2 right there, the riding was pretty much on the wall. We knew when he got to turn 2, he wasn't gonna have much grip, and we were prepared for it. And hell, I still about cleaned Malik out, but he done a good job missing it. I done a pretty good job missing him, and we finished.
Of course, current grid chase standings right now. Challenger 14, Coleman, you're right in 8th spot, if you will. You got the red in your name. You can still lose out, I guess you could call it, of the chase, but it looks like you're pretty much a shoe-in. Now, you're the only driver in the top 6 in the point standings. You're 4th right now in the point standings. Top 6, though, with no wins. Chad, can we see a win from that number 20 machine this year before the chase ends?
I was hoping so, but hell, I don't know. They were probably about 4 or 5 through the first part of the season that I had a really good shot at winning, and some circumstances, getting wrecked, different stuff like that, just seemed to hinder it. But I don't know. I mean, we're pretty much locked in on points right now, and then the way the chase is set up here, Darlington will be, a straight up race, and then Talladega is going to be a crapshoot. It's going to be survive, and Talladega is the race that we're worried about getting through. After Talladega, you can kind of go to Michigan and race, and then of course, the last race it'll be pretty good with Vegas. But yeah, Talladega's going to be a crapshoot. You come out of it, everybody's got a chance.
Yeah, Chad Coleman, Joe Hudson here. I was in the booth tonight with Mike. Great job. Give a shout out to Chad on our Wednesday night series. Led the points from race 1, picked up his first win in our series, but every race, Chad Coleman, consistent top 5 driver. Great job tonight. Way to bring it in there. Like I said, coming all the way from 16th. Great pit stops. Good job. Happy to see you up there in 3rd.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, the Wednesday night series was a lot of fun. I like, we all like the racing the trucks. The series is put together pretty well. It's a lot of fun.
There you have it, folks. Driver of the 20 machine still hunting that win number 1 in the Sim 500 Racing Series on Monday nights. That's Chad Coleman. He'll finish 3rd tonight. 2nd was the number 1 machine of Malik Ray. 5 wins, and he could not find 6 tonight. That one was kind of taken away from him, Joe, as you've caught up with Seth DeMerchant with his 2nd win of the season. This one at the Chicagoland Speedway.
Good job, Seth.
Thank you.
I just would like to know there, what was going through your mind there when you got a little love tap there from, looked like J.D. Laird was coming on hot tires and you're sliding through the turns there. Would you have given yourself much a chance of putting the 57 in victory lane after that incident?
No, not really. I thought my chances were pretty much over. Actually, before that, I don't even remember what happened. I got an EOL, I think. It put me at the back of the field, and it was too hard getting up to the field. Everybody was kind of even, and I was struggling there with the way the setup is to do anything. So
how we were watching all the different. I mean, it was really excitement all over the track, and you got the contact from JD there, and how did you get up front, make your way back to the front so quick after that? Was it some pit strategy that we might have missed a call on there? But I mean, you were right back up front really, really quick after that.
No, what happened is when he spun me, there was only I think 5 cars left on the lead lap, and I was one of them. We didn't pit yet, and he had just pitted, and he was on fresh tires coming up, trying to unlap himself from everybody, and he got into the back of me, and all the leaders that had pitted, I was in front of still after I spun, so I didn't really lose any positions.
So that worked out good for you. Tell us a little bit about, I mean, you drove a great race, but probably the hottest driver in Sim 500, Malik Ray. Were you nervous looking in the mirror and seeing that big target on the hood of the number 1 car, and how'd you hold him off? That was a restart of the century there with 1 to go.
Yeah, I knew the only way I could get him there, the second to last restart, when Mike's dead out, is if I could get a good enough restart to stay beside him in 1 and 2. And I knew that Kelly was going to be really loose going into that turn because of the way the setup was. And I was able to keep him pinned behind Kelly as he was getting loose and get out in front, and then just got that restart timed perfectly and was able to get away.
Well, that was a really, really, really good job. Very impressive after your fourth place start. You were in the top 5 all night, really consistent. Glad to see you rebound after getting that contact there. Great win for you. Thanks for coming out and racing with Sim 500, not only the Monday Night League, but every league we have. We're always a better field when Seth the Merchant's in it. Great win tonight. Pass it back to you, Mike.
And, of course, we'll have to get the final result on the chase grid with Seth the Merchant's second win of the season there. Right now, I don't see him on the Darlington Challenger 14, but it might change. It could change. Coleman's on there. And, of course, Malik Ray is as well. Next week, folks, we'll be at Dover International Speedway, the Meatball Company 151 for the Yellow Flag TV's presentation of Monday Night Money Series. We'll see you next Monday night.
Start your engine!